This is the DLLS Stars Post Game show presented by Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy, enjoy responsibly. Our Stanley Cup Playoff coverage is also brought to you by Happiest Hour, your home base and the best place to catch the NHL playoffs and cheer on the Dallas Stars just steps away from the AAC. The ultimate spot with 50-plus beers and 40-plus TVs for all the big moments every single game day. Happiest Hour, your favorite spot for the Stanley Cup playoffs. And, of course, we were there this afternoon for a little 5 to 6 happy hour before Stars Jets Game 4. Look at that. Did we have fun? Yeah, we did. We met some DLS diehards, took a couple photos. Luds crushed a beer tower. Someone tried to steal my scooter, but I did find it. I don't know who it was that tried to sneak off with it, but it recovered in one piece. I made it back here, scooter to the game and back. We're all good.
Oh, thank God.
I know you were on bated breath.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Craig Ludwig, I'm Owen Newkirk. Our producer, John Andersen, is at the controls. Our GM, Ben, is in the house, so I don't know if he's going to be trolling our chat because he's busy doing other elements. He's content creating work.
Bing bang.
And Sam is over at the AAC. We'll talk to him later. You know what that means?
Already?
That means we got a big one already. Yeah, look at that. I Love Misty 1985 with a Granlund and a Ludwig. Thank you, I Love Misty. Okay. I didn't start playing my dating sim until the middle of the second, but it was only just after one.
After I turned the game on.
Sorry, this is really small now with the new lower third.
Instructions over here.
Just after I turned the game on, that Granlund scored his second goal. So keep that Tokimaki rolling. Miro coming back and Otter having a strong game helped too. Luds, how many beer towers would you need to drink to be able to read that fine print?
We could use the bottom of it when we empty it out for like a bit of a magnifying
There you
glass.
see? Always coming up with the
thinking,
solutions.
yeah, you could do that.
I love it. So Stars win the game 3-1. Game 4, they have a 3-1 series lead. We talked about how important this game was. What are your big takeaways for tonight? Because it feels like Dallas just took a stranglehold on this series.
Obviously, the first one, Mikael Granlund, 3 goals. Mikko Rantanen's in a slump. Only 1 point.
1 point.
That's
yeah,
it.
that's
he's got to pick it up.
hard times for him.
Yeah. And I would say both goalies, and then Miro being back. And not Nestler in that order. Both goalies, meaning Otter was good, and there was a couple big saves he had to make through traffic. One in particular led to the other end of the rink. And as far as Hellebuyck goes, just keep on going.
Oh, it's just endless content.
But let's get to Miro. Miro played. Okay, let's not get to Miro.
No.
Okay.
I want to ask you one more question about the goalies, and then let's get to Miro. Okay. You mentioned how good Jake was, and we're going to go line by line between
Jake
these.
was good when he needed.
He
to be
let
good.
up a really soft goal on the only one.
Yeah.
But what about his mental ability to reset, flush it, and continue to play well and not let it permeate his brain?
I don't think he had to reset. I think he knew exactly that he made a mental mistake, and it could be because when Ehlers had the puck on the half wall, and John, do we have a shot of that one? I don't even know if we're going to be able to see it very well, but and it's tough to see it. But there was a replay from one of the broadcasts. I don't know where it was, but Ehlers is actually looking off to his left, and I'm thinking Jake is looking at him, and then he sees him look, and Jake for a second kind of relaxes, and I believe that he probably looked to his left to see who he was looking at to find out where his outlet was. And at the same time, he just throws the puck to the net. And as soon as it goes in, and Otter's not set because he was standing up tight, standing up straight, and basically looking around. And now you can see there is somebody off to the backside over here on the right-hand side, the right-handed shot.
Yep.
I don't know if Scheifele's out, who's ever out there. But the point is, I think Jake was a little distracted because Ehlers was sending a message, I'm looking over here, and he just caught him off guard. But that's the kind of goal, I don't look at that as being, that's just a mental lapse for a second. Am I keeping you up over here?
No, I'm
you good?
doing just fine.
Yeah, I know. It's that beer you had probably.
Oh, it
took the
was
wind
so
out of your
much. I know.
sails. I just think that was all on him mentally, and it wasn't anything. And I think he was very it was easy for him to shake that
Yeah.
off. And if not that, I think what he does is he just buckles in. I mean, he settles in and he makes a couple huge saves, and they're timely saves. Made timely saves, and it's always nice when you make one of those saves and it goes down to the other end of the rink and it goes into the net.
Miro Heiskanen had not played a hockey game since January 28th against the Vegas Golden Knights when he had his knee injured in a collision with Mark Stone. He returns 3.5 months later after having surgery, rehabbing, and basically forcing Pete DeBoer to ask or answer daily questions about his availability as the playoffs got underway. Well, he returned to the lineup tonight in Game 4 to face the Jets on home ice. Stars did the rare thing they don't like to do a lot of, which is dress 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. How did you think Miro looked tonight, and what did you think of how Dallas dealt with that 11 and 7 as far as the rotations and rhythm?
Well, I think the first thing you have to look at is his first game back in 3.5 months, like you said, and you're jumping in not to a regular season game, you're jumping in the middle of the playoffs. So you can see his skating abilities there. Where I notice things is when he's skating backwards and he's got to pivot. And some of that could be a brace he's wearing. And they'll talk about practices and all. It has nothing to do with the practices, and we got to get contact and stuff like that. Nothing is like playing this game. And so, and I think the biggest thing for him was, and there's one particular early in the game, maybe his third, fourth shift, I don't know who it was, but somebody kind of went wide on him. And you could see him struggling to turn. And I don't even know if that's anything to do with his knee or if it's the timing. Because now everybody's starting to come at you at a real pace. And you do 1-on-1s and 3-on-2s and things like that in practice, but guys are going 3/4 speed, and you're just kind of going through the motions. But I think it was important for him to get through that game. Hopefully he doesn't feel any tweaks or anything like that. And now he's just going to have to work on that other stuff, which is going to come in time, which I think right now with this series being 3-1, I mean, not going to say anything about us finishing this out, but that gives you a little time before you get into the next round, and it'll be interesting. And I'm looking ahead, which isn't the right thing to do, but I look at it because who I believe that Dallas may face in that next round, because I'm not looking ahead there. I know Dallas is going to get there, and I think the other team will too. And there would be a good matchup. I don't know if it'll be the right time for the matchup. Well, we can get to that later, I guess.
As far as Miro goes, did you think that the Stars dealt with having 7 defensemen on the bench in the game tonight so that it didn't disrupt things too much?
Yeah, I mean, it appeared that they did. I mean, you look at Bichel and Petro, I think they played somewhere around 7 minutes, and they've been playing 12, 14, 15. So I think from the standpoint of that physical presence with that pair, are you sure we're not keeping you up?
No,
over here?
I'm fine.
Would you like a Bud Light?
It'll perk me right up. I'm doing just fine. Don't worry, I'll power through it.
But I think that from a physical standpoint, when you're not getting the same minutes that you've been getting, because they've been given more minutes and they deserve more minutes, and they're a pair that I really like. They're a heavy pair. They do what they do. Bichel ends up getting anywhere between 8 and 13 hits a night. Petro got up there the other night. Petro, I think, led the team in hits. And it might have been Petro that had 13. But anyway, or no, he had more than that. He had like 16 or something. So, but that's your physical pair. And they don't get in the same rhythm. But again, they didn't need that tonight. The interesting thing will be like what happens, when they want, because they're not going to go, I don't believe they're going to go 11-7 the rest of the way.
Meaning who might get scratched on the back end if Miro's feeling all right.
Yeah.
So the next question is, are you looking for Miro to have, you mentioned he got through the first game. Jason Robertson looked much better. Now, granted, it's much more mild injury that Robo was dealing with than what Miro went through, but he looked better in game 2. And I remember even made the comment of, he had a couple of those, hey, Pete, move me up the lineup kind of shifts, where it was really notable. He popped a little bit. Are you looking for Miro to start doing those things as his next few games unfold?
For me, Miro, his forward skating, I mean, is always going to be good, right? He could probably do it with one leg out there. But I think more importantly, it's how he handles rushes coming back into his own zone. And again, a lot of that has to do with timing. Of course, there's something to do with the knee and surgery and all this other stuff. Been missing 3.5 months. So that's the part that I think that has to come back to him just from an appearance kind of thing. And there were times, and he fumbled the puck a couple times, like he never does that. Mm-hmm. But that's having the puck on your stick and knowing that somebody's coming on your back right away, unlike in practices where you get it and nobody's really putting any pressure on you. So it's all the timing and being in game action for the most part.
Well, part of it was really fun. I don't know if it conveyed on the TV or not, but The Stars fans in the American Airlines Center tonight were fired up for Miro coming out. Every time he touched the puck, there were the little cheers, this enthusiasm for him to be back. When he was out on the power play, he got second power play time, and there were moments where everybody was hoping for him to shoot and maybe score a goal and really blow the roof off the place. As you saw, he's not a shoot first guy.
He didn't shoot when he was healthy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's
like
the same.
he moved. That's why we were kind of talking at the beginning of the year or halfway through the year that when Harley's out there, he has a more tendency to make a couple passes and then find a shooting lane.
So, Granlund big, Heiskanen nice return. I thought the Stars got outplayed for a while in this game.
Did.
Then they flipped it midway through the second period.
Well, they flipped it when things changed a little bit when a goal goes in that, probably they want that save from their goaltender. And again, I know, that he's the backbone of that team for a long time, especially during the regular season. And now that backbone is a couple of vertebrae are out of whack. And so I think that you get down a little bit. I mean, and it's hard not to, but when you see goals go in that he normally wouldn't allow, there is some wind that comes out of the sails. And I think it's like, oh man, how are we going to overcome this? So I think that has something to do with it. And sometimes I wonder, are they waiting for the coach to say, put the other guy in, or and again, I think any time that there is a distraction, and that one just happens to be a very important one for him right now. And it's not like he played terrible, but when you look at a couple of the goals that Granlund scored, and here's what I mean. This Connor Hellebuyck, buck.
Hellebuyck,
but I mean, we're talking about a shot from
Hellebuyck, buck.
from. Yeah, I wish you could play the whole thing. But you're talking about a shot that goes in from 50 to 60 feet out.
Yeah,
and and I know they were breaking it down. I don't know what they were doing on ESPN there. They're trying to break it down, and the stick was in a lane and all this other kind of stuff. I don't care. I mean, it didn't get tipped. The stick, and I think what happens, I don't remember who the defenseman was, but I think if he uses a long stick instead of getting it parallel, that's what I would have said if I was on there. Use a long stick, and you probably tip this puck into the stands, and it never gets to the net, or be in the shooting lane. But you're thinking, well, in a normal circumstance, you're going, okay, this is 50, 60 feet away. We're above the tops of the circles. I should be able to just go over here, and you're just going to make that save, and it doesn't. It goes in, and I think there's a little bit of that going on. Not only with the guys on the ice, but more importantly, what's going on the bench. And I think the coach is probably kind of second guessing. He should have listened to me. I'm just saying. Well, I'm glad he didn't listen to me.
Well,
at the start of the game.
Yeah.
I would have started the other guy. It's so easy to say now, but I said that in the beginning. Because this guy's good at home. Don't think you're going to go into Winnipeg, and it's for some reason he's a different goalie at home. So, but now you just got to give him the doubt again. Hey, they did this in the last series too, right? I don't think they were down ever by 2 games, though, were they?
No, they won the first 2, then St. Louis tied it. Then they won all 4 home games.
Yeah.
So they never trailed in the series.
I thought they trailed in
no,
one
that
of
was
those
only
games.
St. Louis, maybe in a game, but it was they came back, I think, in
and
one of the games.
They scored like 4 goals.
But it was they won. They were up 2-0, 3-2, and then won game 7. So up next, we're going to talk about the goals. We'll go through the whole game. We'll get into some of the details. As you saw, Luddy's in a singing mood, so we'll do that as well here on the DLS Stars Post Game Show.
When you're headed to the Stars game like we were tonight, there's no better pregame or postgame spot to be than Happiest Hour. Grab a beer, devour some apps, then walk across the street and catch the game. Happiest Hour brings the playoff energy with 40-plus TVs, a jumbo LED screen that turns nights into events. Packs patios, which, man, they were packed tonight.
It was packed at 5 o'clock today.
You only got 1 scooter in there tonight, and that was it. Skyline views with plenty of Stars fans. And there were tons of Stars plans there, by the way.
Lots
Happiest
of
Hour
jerseys.
does not just do apps, they do team appetizers. Appetizers. The Ferris wheel of wings, a jumbo pretzel, nacho tower, and more. Add that to a full menu of game day favorites, and you've got the playoff spread worth cheering for. Happiest Hour has 50-plus beers on tap. We tried 48 of them. Signature cocktails, frozen drinks, and beer towers on the table. Tried a couple of them. Join us for Happy Hour from 4 to 6 p.m. on weekdays and score half off apps and signature cocktails. It's the best value play in Victory Park. Whether it's a weekday or weekend, Game 7 or Game 5 or 6, or the offseason, Happiest Hour is our favorite spot. Check them out right down the street from the AAC.
Let's talk about Empire today. Just like your favorite team needs a home ice advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage, and Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. We've all been to those big box stores. You wander around endless aisles, then somehow you're hauling these materials home. You have to look for an installer and coordinating everything yourself. They do not do everything all at once, and yet Empire Today does exactly that. It's the best bet for new flooring because Empire Today lives and breathes flooring, and they will be with you every step of the way, from picking the right flooring and the colors to seeing how your furniture looks in your house. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DLLS listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code DLLS. Yes, you heard right, a $350 discount with code DLLS. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday/DLLS for details. All right, Luds, you already kind of broke down the Granlund goal a little bit, but I want to back up because the first shot of the game was Scheifele kind of stealing a puck from Harley with a little quick no-look backhand below the goal line. Miro was going back in with Kyle Connor, took his guy well in the corner. Harley went to help on Scheifele. And Scheifele, without missing a beat, centers it. And I don't know who missed their assignment, but Gabe Vilardi was wide open in the left slot. Oettinger came out, made a good save. As your buddy, and our buddy Razor likes to say, it was a sassy save. And it was a early indication that Otter was here to play.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They were the timely saves. You know, those that if it were at the other end, it probably would have ended up in the net. So Jake's been better. Jake is better. What is that? What is everybody cheering?
Otter's better.
Otter's better. There
Yep.
you go. Otter's better.
So I believe I had Winnipeg with more chances, but that was their only high danger one of the first period. They were a little bit better than Dallas as far as shots on goal, quality chance a little higher. But the big thing was a territorial difference. The game was played primarily in the Dallas zone in the first period. And if it wasn't for Granlund's power play goal, it's still 0-0, or maybe it could have been 1-0 the other way around. I thought the Stars defended well. As you mentioned, Otter was good, but they also took advantage of a power play. But it wasn't a setup. It was just Granlund calling his own number. He drew the penalty, he took the entry, and then he scored from the high slot.
The really high slot.
Yeah.
That was about it. Yeah, you know, I really thought, like, Winnipeg gave Dallas some fits early in the game because of the way that they played. Very similar to what we thought they were going to do, is they were going to play this kind of controlled game where they're going to have numbers all the way back, and they're not going to allow them to use that speed and the flippers and the long stretch passes. And I think it frustrated. I mean, there was a lot of the game where they were being outshot 2-1, you know, from whether it was 4-2 or 21-5 or 8 or whatever it was. And so you could tell that there was a lot of territorial play going on. But again, there weren't a ton of high quality scoring chances, but when there was that one or two, Jake was there to make the save.
The penalty to Tyler Seguin, the first of two minors he took in fairly quick succession in the end of the first period and then early in the second period, but he took it with a minute to go in the first. And that carried over. Stars killed off the first half of it. But as the power play was expiring, in fact, it happened, the goal went in just after. It was 2 seconds after. Seguin got a very hard luck minus on that one as he steps out of the box. And Nikolai Ehlers scored from the bottom of the right circle. You already showed a little bit of a look of it, but this is one that should never go in on an NHL goalie.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Jake just got caught, and he wasn't sleeping on it. I really thought he was reading his eyes, and his head was actually turned to the left, and Jake was kind of standing upright the whole time, and I don't think he expected that it was going to come. Obviously, we didn't expect it to come from there. He was going to make a play because Ehlers he's a volume shooter. He probably had 6-7 shots tonight, but he can pass. I really like Nikolai Ehlers. I think he's a really, really good player. His problem has been he's been hurt. He seems to get hurt at the wrong times of the year. But yeah, this is one I thought that just surprised Jake, and his body language right away. It was no looking around. It's like, I let that in. That's all on me, obviously, and then he kind of buckled himself in. That
was the only one that beat him in the whole night. It's not a good goal. Instead of saying, oh, he'd like that one back, which is the nice code of saying that was a bad goal, I simply said, that's softy. You shouldn't let that in. But boy, was he good after that. They got another power play. I mentioned Seguin. He gets called for tripping at 3:19 of the second period. Remember, he came out of the box a minute into the period. So 2 minutes later, his next shift, he gets another penalty. He wouldn't get another one after that, though. Velarde had a high danger chance with a backhander at the crease that Oettinger denied. Scheifele put the rebound at the post just wide. The first save on Velarde was really good. Hayden Fleury had a really good look. Low left slot. Oettinger stopped that one. And the first half of the second period, Luds, it was one-way traffic.
Yeah, it was. Well, that's what I mean, is that they played a good road game. You know what I'm saying?
Stars.
Yeah.
At home.
At home. They played a game where you don't open things up until you have to. You're kind of tight, and that's playoff hockey. I mean, you can play road games at home, and you have a certain way that you frustrate teams. You kind of mark it down, you remember, and you keep things tight, and you have numbers and bodies in certain areas, and you kind of suffocate them for a while.
After it was after that Fleury chance, Matt Duchene took a shot at the top of the left circle. That was their first shot on goal of the period. So it took a while. But then it started to change because then all of a sudden it was Dallas. It was Lindell and Johnston, Lyubushkin getting scoring chances. Heiskanen put one wide from the right circle, but it was good to see him stepping up into the play down the right side. Their first dangerous chance of the period was Mikko Rantanen on a rebound at the left side of the, let's say, low left slot, bottom of the circle, and he just missed over the top of the crossbar. That one goes in a lot. The way Mikko's been playing, I was surprised he didn't score there.
Well, they can't all go in, right? But I think they probably come out of the game a little confident, Jets do, about how they contained him a little bit better, I should say.
Yeah, he wasn't the dominant offensive force.
No.
He still got on the scoreboard. We'll talk about that.
His winger over there.
He did.
Yeah, the other guy.
But before that happened, and this was almost in a pretty short sequence, Jake made, I would say, his best save of the game to deny Kyle Connor on a one-timer from the low right slot set up by Iafallo, who was behind the net. And then Jake flashes his left pad out and gets it probably pretty close to the toe of the pad. That was a huge save.
Yeah, and it's nice that he has his pad flat. I think it happened so quick. He knew exactly, he trusts his positioning, what he was supposed to do. He goes down, and Connor drills it right into the pad. If Connor had another chance, obviously he'd go upstairs with it. But it was what happened after that. This is the one where, I mean, and you can almost see, like, Jake's head is following this pass here. A great pass, though, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can see where Jake's head is starting to follow it, and he gets that left pad, like you said, flat on the ice. Connor doesn't get it up. But it was after this. It was what happened after that save.
Go back to that pass, or that photo, if you would, please, John, real quick. One good thing I didn't even think about. Look at Miro Heiskanen's positioning there. If his knee was bothering him in a great deal, that would be a difficult maneuver for him to do. The fact that he can get down into that crouch to try to block a pass, which got through anyway, that's beside the point.
You didn't see him get back up from that, did you?
No, I was looking at the save. So was it a little slow?
Well, it's slower than normal. Yeah, which is to be expected. You know? Yeah, but it's nice, like you say, that he has the confidence to do
exactly.
That. And he wouldn't be in the lineup if he didn't have the confidence to do it.
It wasn't that long after that. It wasn't save and go to the other end of the ice, but it was shortly thereafter. Mikael Granlund scored his second goal of the game, and of course, Mikko Rantanen was heavily involved in this as he wins a battle on the wall, turns and starts the breakout pass for a 2-on-1 with Granlund and hits.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that. I just remember seeing all that. I mean, look at this. I don't know, for a guy that's 6'5" or whatever, and I think he's actually hoping that Granlund puts it into his glove, because after it goes in net, he's still almost in the same position. Like, it just, I just think and look at all the net that's available.
That's a heck of a shot by Granlund, isn't it?
It's a great shot, but I mean, he had it, and look at all the holes that there are.
That's a lot of cheese.
Hellebuyck,
but I'm saying he saw
I
all
thought
of those.
Wisconsin guys are more about cheddar than Swiss.
I don't know. I'm a cheesehead.
That's right.
That's a Green Bay Packer thing, right?
But you're more of a cheddar guy than a
No,
Swiss guy.
I'm good with all of it.
You're pro cheese.
Yeah, we like our cheese.
That's right. Wisconsin. I mean, every time we would go, I went to Milwaukee quite a bit with the Texas Stars. You're not eating light when you're there. It's cheese, beer, brats. It's fantastic.
Cheese on everything.
You gain a few pounds with your time there. It's fun. Okay, so it's 2-1, Luds. Granlund both goals, end of the second period. Things flipped in the third. Just like they did in the end of the second, where Dallas had a lot more of the chances to end the second period. They really started to look like they were taking over the game until they got on the power play and gave Kyle Connor a shorthanded breakaway. And that was the second best save that Jake made in the game, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're trying to force a little bit sometimes on that power play. You get a little frustrated that things aren't going in for you. But again, Connor, he seems to find ways to get loose all the time. And he's not a big guy, but he's sneaky. And like you think that you have him covered, and all of a sudden he just slips away, and he's got great speed, obviously, but another one of those at the right time, Oettinger kind of save.
Duchesne on the tail end of the power play. You all right up there?
I think that was down here.
No, okay. So
that was our
I
producer.
sneezed.
Oh, that was a sneeze? It's
Yeah.
I thought that was our boss.
You guys know when
I thought he fell off the couch or something up
when
there.
I sneeze, I mute my mic so you can continue the show.
Anyway, we always like to stop down when John has to sneeze. So Duchesne takes a shot from the left circle on the power play, and we were clamoring for somebody to shoot because they were moving the puck around and nobody was really winding up. He steps up and rings one off the post. It kicks out, and Heiskanen goes to Granlund, and he just absolutely pounds one in for his third goal, second power play goal of the game for Granlund. He gets the hat trick. It's his first ever playoff hat trick. And 7:23 into the third, Stars up by 2, and it was the Mikael Granlund show.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is from an angle, and it's from the distance, and there's, I don't know, I at the end of this thing, Hellebuyck is kind of half spun around to his left here, so I don't know if he got a little kitty wampus, but look at Granlund over there. I wish we were able to show this whole thing, because the way that he was on his knees after he scores the goal, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. The way he just pops up to both of his feet and stands straight up and down. But again, look at, people are going to look at this and go, how does he score from here? Now, we can't really see what Hellebuyck is seeing as far as traffic and things like that go. But the one thing you do know about Miro is he typically passes the puck. So you're always ready for that. And again, from a penalty killing standpoint, you would rather see that puck go over there and a shot go from there versus coming right down the pipe.
Jamie took a penalty for roughing with about 5 minutes to go as he came in at the end of a whistle and just decked Scheifele up high. That was a pretty obvious one.
That's how you get your name on the score sheet.
You do get on the score sheet that way. That helped them get a couple of chances, but they weren't really, that power play they had wasn't very good. 5-on-5 after the Granlund goal, Jake made a really good save coming out to Josh Morrissey in the slot. They were playing low to high, and he was wide open, stepped into it. I thought that was an excellent save by Jake outside. I think he was at the top of his crease when he made that save. And then a little bit later, Scheifele was open at the left circle, and Jake tracked it, move over, made a really good save. Those were the last two, the last two like very dangerous chances, but he was just dialed in that third period.
You could see everything seemed to be easy for him tonight.
And so 6-on-5. It was interesting. There were Steve Levy and Ryan Callahan, are the announcers for ESPN tonight, were having a debate on that power play.
I wasn't listening.
That's okay. I'm going to explain it for those that weren't. They were having a debate of, should you pull Hellebuyck and go 6-on-4 on that power play because you're down 2 goals? Callahan was saying, Esselindale blocks that shot, throws it into an empty net. Now it's a 3-goal lead. So he was saying, no, wait until the power play's over. Levy's going, take your chance and go for it now.
I agree with Levy on that.
Why?
Well, I mean, nothing's really going in. And, when you got an opportunity, it's 5-on-5, you're not getting any goals. So, and then 5-on-4, you didn't get any goals. So I think it would have been a good time to pull it. You got to get somehow to change a little bit momentum here. But, Scott O'Neill runs the game the way he likes to run it, I guess.
Well, the Stars hung on for a 3-1 win. They have a 3-1 series lead now. Game 5 will be in Winnipeg on Thursday night. It's a late one. It's that 8:30, but really 8:50 something start, I believe. So it's going to be a very late.
Is that one of the ride-alongs?
I think we're doing a watch-along, yep.
Is our boss here yet?
He's probably still here.
Is he sleep?
He might be. I don't know. He hasn't responded for a while.
Are we doing a ride-along on the next game?
We are. It'll be on Victory Plus, just like right now.
We got Sevy coming in?
That's right. No, his daughter's graduation.
Oh, yeah, 4 days to figure out an excuse.
We are going to have a lot of fun on Thursday, but we're going to have even more fun next because it's Super Chat time here on the DLLS Stars Post Game Show. But first, let's talk about Own Well. You have like a day and a half, I believe, because it's almost the deadline for filing a protest for your property taxes here in Texas. In most counties, it's May 15th. Well, it's May 13th and almost done with the day right now. Owning property comes with plenty of challenges, but overpaying on property tax shouldn't be one of them. You can fight your property taxes and save thousands of dollars each year. Ownwell believes that when it comes to paying property tax, you should only pay what's fair. Sign up in under 3 minutes, and the team of local experts and cutting technology can help start you saving money with no upfront costs. It's quick, it's easy. Put property tax money back in your pocket in just minutes. Ownwell handles everything from start to finish, and there's no upfront costs. Only pay if you save. The deadline to protest is May 15th for most counties. Save money on your property taxes with Ownwell. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your protest today at ownwell.com/DLLS. Again, that's OWNWELL.com/DLLS. Now let's talk about Shady Rays. Get ready for the heat. I know it's too early. It's only the middle of May. It was so nice this weekend. Guess what? 100-degree temperatures expected tomorrow here in Dallas. I know. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
Don't worry about it. We'll be in here working.
It was pretty warm today, too. You need the quality pair of shades built to last from our friends at Shady Rays. They have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. And they probably have a pair or match of style colors of your favorite team. So go for those today. Well, how do you do that? Well, exclusively for our listeners. Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code DLLS for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. All right, lads. It's Super Chat time. Now, we had a huge one from I Love Misty to start, but we have lots more to go, so let's get right to it. John, if you would stretch that screen so I can squint a little bit and try to see it, and let's get this thing fired up with our Super Chats tonight here, both on YouTube and on Victory Plus. Thanks for joining us.
Bing bong.
Cam with a Heiskanen and Granlund. Granny, Natty, Hattie. Unfortunately, that's not true. Otter's better. Enough said. Okay. Not to sound like the know-it-all corrective type. Don't say anything, lads. But a natural hat trick means you score 3 goals in a row with nobody else, your team or the opponent, scoring in between. So he scored a hat trick, but because Ehlers scored to make it 1-1, no Natty Hattie. Still, Otter's better, yes.
Bing bong.
Jeff Heath is the GOAT with a Heiskanen 99 Cup here. Stars? I think we should start calling them the Dolphins. Dolphins? Dolphins?
Dolphins.
Like Dallas Fins. Fins in 5. The Finnish Mafia definitely showed out. They've been doing well in the playoffs. They had the most Finns in the game tonight that we've had in the playoffs because of Miro. Yeah, look at that. By the way, speaking of that T-shirt, I'm hearing that they're selling a ton of those right now. So don't wait. They might sell out a second time, and who knows if they'll be back again. It's a great shirt. One of my favorites here at DLLS. Go to the website and get it before it's gone.
I plan on wearing that shirt on the alumni float.
Nice.
Parade.
Well,
That's my plan.
I like that plan.
Might be the only one going down that street, but that's my plan. I hope there's others there.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be others. Assuming
Bing
that there's
bong.
a parade, right? Yeah. T. Farmer with a Masterton and a 99 Cup here. Another Finnish Hattie. Otter is better. Big game Jake and taking receipts. Lose a peg, can't play in an element. The element being Texas, almost summer ice. I have so much to say, but go Stars. We saw T. Farmer at Happiest Hour this afternoon.
He still may be there right now.
He could very well, but it was great for him to come out and say hi.
So he's right between myself and Owen, bottom right.
There he is in the blackout jersey. For a minute, I couldn't find him. There he is, T. Farmer. Thank you, Tim, for coming out and hanging out with us today.
Bing bong.
Cam with another Heiskanen and Rantanen this time. Connor, Hellebuyck, Buck, Beep.
Hellebuyck, Buck. Hellebuyck, Buck.
That's Connor Hellebuyck.
Oh, dear. Let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
I wonder if that's going to hit the Jumbotron. You think that's going to hit the sound system in there?
What, that? They haven't done it yet.
No. Well, we just did it tonight.
No, I mean, we are.
We'll have to record a full rendition.
Can they play our stuff in there since we can't play anything else in here?
I would think the answer is that, yes.
Do we get money from that if they use it?
Probably not.
No.
Smickball with an Oettinger and a Granlund. You're going to try to do royalties on your Connor Hellebuyck song. Yep. Take it to the Jets in Game 5. Finish them.
He's going to finish his chicks.
There we go.
It's hard putting teams away.
It's going to be harder than that building, too.
Well, that fourth game is always the hardest. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have, the whiteout and everything else going, and their goaltender plays well there. So.
Yep. It was not easy to go up to Winnipeg and get one game.
And just remember, you really do want to finish it because you never know when you come back here, which is kind of like
finish his
7,
chicks.
you know what happens when you actually got to go back there.
Well, remember, back in 2016, right? The Stars went up 3-1 on St. Louis. No, I'm getting it confused. I think it was 2019.
Confusing us all.
I think they went up 3-1, lost Game 6
How many scoring
at
chances
home.
were in
Oh,
that game?
stop. So, yeah, no, it was 2019. They were playing the Blues. They won a game in St. Louis to go up 3-1. We thought they were coming back to Dallas to finish them off. They lost at home. I think it was an afternoon week, like a Saturday, Sunday matinee. And then we had that double overtime game where they lost. Ben Bishop stood on his head, but Jamie's wraparound was, 3/4 of the way over the net, over the goal line. Next one.
Bing
Big
bang.
one just came in.
Oh, how about that? Socially distant with a Granlund and a Heiskanen. One simply cannot have too many Finns on the ice. Unless, of course, you have too many men on the ice. You have to make sure it's the legal amount. But yes, ton of Finns.
Socially distant sent a follow-up directly after.
Bing bang.
Man, a Hintz and a Rantanen. So socially distant firing off the super chat tonight. Pionk is the sound, oh dear, a turd makes when it hits the water in the bowl. And you got Luds. He enjoyed that
I
one.
think it's a plop, right?
Bing bang.
I like that.
Ozzy D with a Casey DeSmith and a 99 cup here. Send some Mando to Connor since he was hella butt.
Your balls, butt cracks, and grundles.
Hellebuyck, buck, Hellebuyck, buck.
Did you put this together? Like,
No, I'm hitting them all at the same time.
you're doing this on the fly?
Just bringing them together, yeah.
Oh, if you missed the Ralphie show yesterday in Mando, you need to.
Yeah,
listen.
we had quite the Mando ad reads for sure. And by the way, I didn't bring it up yesterday, but the other word,
The grundles?
the fancy word would be perineum. That's the medical word for
yeah,
it.
the fancy word is taint.
No,
That's
that's
the
the slang word.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've never heard it called a perinemal or whatever.
Perineum. That's because that's the medical term.
Not that either.
Bing bang.
Socially distant again.
Socially distant. Moy, another Granlund, and this time Granlund and Heiskanen. I wanted a hattie like Granny. Throw it, and welcome back, Miro.
Oh, there it goes.
There's
Look at the
hat
new hat.
trick hat. Here's the throw. He's going for the bucket.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
new
and it
hat.
just
That's
off
all right.
the green.
Boston Bruins colors.
Let's go to the next one. Boy, socially distant with a triple threat. I love it.
Bing bang.
Leon Bischel Enjoyer, a Heiskanen and a Granlund. I'm loving all the Finnish numbers tonight. On my mama, we throwing it back for Miro and Mikael. It's Mikael. I don't know why I said Mikael. It's
My
Mikael.
mama. Throwing what back? You're supposed to throw the hat back? No?
Finnish Mafia.
No, those are out of order anyway because socially distant skipped the line quite a bit.
Ah. Well,
Bing
We're
bang.
getting shirts tomorrow?
are we?
I think we heard that tonight.
Echo Spark with a Lindell and Granlund. It's like an awesome bedtime story. We got a granny with a suppressa with help from a moose and an otter. Very creative.
They're going to need some more guys to chip in, though.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that.
For sure. But right
Bing
now, I
bang.
mean,
Get some,
you have 5 Finns out there. That's enough to spread it around. Stars 25 Cup here with a Heiskanen 99. I think this is the defining game. Duchesne, Robertson, Ben all looked better. First time I'm not mad at Ben for taking a penalty. Bad timing, but thoughts?
I was okay with Jamie come flying in there.
And drilling Scheifele?
Yeah. The game was pretty much where it needed to be, and you got the right guy.
Yeah.
Bing bang.
James Thomas with a Ben and a Granlund. Can we get a chicken head on Hellebuyck Buck?
Hellebuyck, buck. Hellebuyck, buck.
Oh, but we did put Swiss cheese on him.
We have cheese.
That's
Now you
those
should
are
put the
somewhat
song in
related
there.
to one another, right?
You know, if you take the cheese away, it actually looks like there's more room in the net.
It really does. I mean, no, actually not.
See, I think there's less space with the cheese out there.
It's just awful.
If you have the other, I don't know, John, if you have the other graphic of that.
What is the other?
There, see, there's more room. The cheese covers more than that.
Yep.
Except for the top
I mean,
of the
we
net.
sized that cheese up. That would be some genetically engineered
That's
Swiss
a
cheese.
very
for it to be that
abnormally
big.
large wedge of cheese for sure.
Bing bong.
Nathan with a Masterton N99 cup here. Appreciate y'all's podcast. Thank you, Nathan. Just watched the Ralph game show he discussed. Amazing. So he went on YouTube and found the Press Your Luck. That's the screen grab we got yesterday of him with his little Ralph name tag and lots of hair luds. He had a lot of hair back in 1984.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched that episode all the way through. I kind of want to see the part where Ralphie's.
Are you talking about the Press Your Luck show?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you watch part of it?
I watched the very beginning of it. I haven't, since our show, I haven't gone back to it because Ralph was talking about the passing of Spins and the woman that was on one of the contestants apologizing, and he felt the fix was in.
14-foot sailboat.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, it was wild. If you have not yet gone to YouTube or to our audio streaming platforms and watched or listened to our Ralph Strangis show, which was yesterday, which was Monday, May the 12th, you should do it. It's absolutely chaotic and fun.
Ralphie was on top of his game.
Wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, he was on.
Full of energy.
Bing bong.
Look who's back.
And you two were having at each other. The whole pickleball debacle, that was pretty entertaining. T Farmer, oh, how about that? That's a Rhett Gardner and a 99 cup here. I think we kicked the Jets in the perineum.
Your balls, butt cracks, and grundles.
Yes, Tim. That's a well-played super chat.
Bing bong.
Ken Murphy Photography. Ooh, a 20. How about that? Why am I blanking on a 20?
At Belfort.
Was he? He wore number 20? Did he really?
Eddie?
I'm serious. I don't. Is that what his number was?
Yeah, I don't think you have to Google that.
No. I'm trying to look as. I can't think of it. Well, anyway, he has I'll look it up. I'm blanking on 20s. So we'll go with Eddie. Eddie in the year after the cup. Great broadcast, fellas. Got to get these penalties under control. Oettinger was great tonight. Go Stars. Did you feel like the penalties were a big issue tonight? I mean, there were fewer of them by one. 3 instead of 4.
Yeah, I don't know if they were that egregious. I mean, it's easy when they don't score on them.
That helps. Yeah,
I
for
mean?
sure.
That kind of helps. You don't think they're as bad.
Bing bong.
UNT or UN Trumpet, a Bischel and an Oettinger. What did you think of the Robertson, Johnston, Rantanen line every few shifts? I thought it looked good. Is that a combo we might see more of in the future? That's what Matt Duchesne was hinting at this morning when he told me it wasn't what you thought it was going to be.
Well, I mean, I think that's just because 96 is getting double shifted all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, there's some speed out there. Again, it's not easy for these guys. First off, again, you got Robo coming back. This is what, a second or third game. So when they don't play with each other, and again, it's kind of like in the beginning of the year when Rantanen got here, it was kind of discombobulated. They were trying to find the right people, and then when we thought it was going to be Hintz and Robo, there was a tweak again, and Robo got hurt. But they're not going to mess with that. The good news is Rantanen's getting out there double shifting. That's the best part for me about the 11-7 stuff. That because you're able to get him out there more and he can handle it.
And he can basically skate on two lines.
And regardless, the thing is he may not pick up a bunch of points, but the reason he may not pick up a bunch of points and do what he's been doing, it's because they're taking him away. It's because they're designating somebody to stay with him. But that just opens up somebody else. And when you have the guys that play with him that will see that what they're trying to do, they're going to find other people. They're going to create other 2-on-1s other places. So in one way, he becomes a decoy, but you really can't cover him because he's too big and he fights things off and he finds a way to get involved one way or another.
He had 29 shifts. Only Thomas Harley had more with 30, and he was third on the Stars, highest of forwards with 23:49 of ice time. Essa and Harley. Harley had 26:09. Essa had 25:02. Miro only had 14:52, which is not surprising.
Well, but the thing with that, I don't
That's a
wanna say
lot of
surpri-
minutes for
But when
Rantanen, though.
his shifts are only like 40, 45 seconds long, that's a little surprising. But that's by design.
You're talking
too,
about
for him.
Miro.
I'm talking about Miro.
Yep.
That's by design too. So he, gets into the game and things like that. His shift lengths are usually a lot longer.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, number 20s, the one that I was thinking of, I couldn't come up with. Cody Eakin wore 20 for a long time. More recently, Ryan Suter was 20 for the last couple of seasons. And this year, Kyle Capobianco for a couple of games has had 20. But
Like I said,
Eddie Bedford, yeah. L4 gets that. And that is time for these messages. Yeah, break time here at DLLS Stars Post Game Show. We'll talk to Sam next from the AAC.
Forgot about little Sam.
Don't forget about our little buddy. Let's talk about being a diehard, but more specifically, look at that spring cleaning clearance sale that has started, I believe it was yesterday, here on the All-City DLLS, actually all of the All-City stores. It's a chance for you to catch up on some merchandise that maybe's been there for a little bit, maybe you haven't pulled the trigger yet, and you can get anywhere from 30% off to 75% off, depending on the item. Obviously, select exclusions apply. Some of the newest Stars shirts, the Finnish Mafia shirt, the Wyatt Johnston 16-bit, the Mikko Rantanen finisher, the Moose, the Captain, excuse me, all of those are still so new that they're not part of the sale. They're great shirts. You should definitely take advantage of them. A lot of people have already. But one of the great things about this sale is you can stock up on your DLS merchandise. Because if you sign up to be a diehard, you get a free t-shirt. You should do that. And you also get 20% off all the time at the merch store. But right now, 30% on a lot of items. So really worth your time to load up for the playoffs and get some of the best shirts that you can here on our DLLS merchandise stop. In addition to that, being a diehard gives you all sorts of great access. Of course, our writing, Sam and Sean have been writing just about daily about the Stars here in the playoffs. You get all of their articles, and it also includes the Mavericks, who, again, continue to make news here in DFW, getting the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft lottery.
Sneaky.
You think that's a little
I don't know.
little contrived, perhaps? He's like, I don't know, rigged? Sure.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, Mavericks coverage, Cowboys coverage, Rangers, all of that when you become a DLS diehard. It's not one, you get it all, and it's worth every penny. So sign up today. Use the QR code at the bottom of the screen, alldlls.com. And now we welcome in the...
no Sam yet.
No, he's not there yet. Oh,
No
for
Sam.
heaven's sakes.
We
Luds,
got some super chats left.
what's he doing? We'll go back to the super chats while we wait for Sam to check it. Usually he's sitting in there waiting and getting distracted. Excuse me, I have a tickle in the throat.
Bing bong.
Daniel Howard, excuse me, with a DeSmith and 99 Cup here. Robos look great, just has to break the seal. You think you look better, Luds, over the last... is this his best game?
From a speed standpoint,
Yep.
you can see he's getting up and down the ice. Everything else. I mean, we need Robo to score a goal
Yes.
or be involved in that. But yeah, I think he's keeping up with the play, and he's getting involved. And I think probably most importantly, I think he's showing the coaching staff that you want to bump me up, you can go ahead and bump me up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
Give him a few more minutes. Yeah.
But right now, with
You're
the
gonna
way
need him to start
that
scoring.
that top finish line is playing, you can't mess with that, right?
Yeah, but if you only have one line scoring, you're eventually going to run into, we could speak about the next round, but I mean, you're going to run into somebody that's going to shut somebody down. And so you have to be able to have them go, okay, who are we putting on who here? You got to give them something to think about, which Dallas has always been good at that. It's never been like a one-line team.
It is interesting, and I think it's a good idea. We talk about who playing with whom, with Rantanen being double shifted so much, but not playing those double shifts with the fourth line guys. Nothing against Steele and Dodonov. They actually have been factoring in goals when he's on there. But Wyatt and Robo, that's a very interesting trio.
Don't you think a little bit of that would be about Rantanen getting those two
Yes.
guys on the board?
For sure.
So you're kind of using him in a dual capacity thing. We want you to keep on going, but here's a couple guys that, you can help them out because they know they need more than just that one line going. Let's
go. Next one.
Sam, if you can hear me. Oh, Sam was under his camera, and he is no longer under his camera. So we are coming to you, Sam.
Sam's just a train wreck.
Yeah, I think he can hear you.
No, there he
Heyo.
is.
Hi, Sam.
What's up, guys?
I don't know what it says on the lower
I
third,
heard-
John, but it looks like Sam garbled. There we go. Look at that,
I
Sam. You
heard there's a
focused
new.
it.
I heard there's a new drop you guys have of that song.
Hellebuyck, buck, buck, buck. Hellebuyck, buck, buck, buck.
What do you mean, what is that? You know exactly what
That's
it is.
crazy.
So, Sam, what do you have for us?
Yeah, some interesting things. We got to talk to Miro and Granlund, and then Jake and Bischel. But for me, the main takeaway was Miro talked a little bit about his injury. He said it hurt. So in case anyone was curious about that, it did hurt.
Hurt
But
to
the
play
interesting
tonight?
part about no, sorry, his injury. He was kind of laughing about
Like
it,
it
saying
hurt when it
the injury
happened.
hurt when it happened.
Okay.
Yes, but the no, he said he felt good. Pete said after the game he talked to him. He said he felt good. He felt strong. Pete kind of joked that that was the first time he's seen Miro not catch someone on a breakaway. I believe it was the Kyle Connor one.
Yep.
But other than that, he said it was kind of the perfect night for Miro. He comes in, he plays about 15 minutes. They don't overtax him too much, gets his feet wet a little bit, and then makes a huge play on that power play goal for Granlund. So it was a good night for him in order to take the first step, right? And Pete said again, what he's said over and over is that we have to fight the urge sometimes to play him too much, because he goes out there and you see what he can do. And it's hard to not just throw him over the boards every second shift because he's such a capable player. But clearly Pete recognized that, it was his first game, and I think he missed 42 games, basically 3.5 months.
That's half a
So for
season.
him to come in, and have that impact, and it felt long too, right? That's not always the case when a guy's missing. Obviously, this is their best player, so it feels really long. The crowd loved it when he came out. I love that Pete put him in the starting lineup. But for one thing I didn't realize is that Miro didn't skate yesterday because he actually flew to New York City, which is where he had his surgery. So we went back to New York yesterday, flew in there, met with his surgeon, got that final sign off to be able to play today. Said the knee looked good, it looked strong, and he was ready to go. Then he flew back here again, I think last night, came up this morning, skated, and played a game. So pretty crazy little 36 hours for Miro, but I think this is all we could have wished for him to come back, right? Is to obviously not have any setbacks. He took some contact, took some awkward kind of bumps into the wall and things like that, and looked good, didn't show any signs of it. And then obviously the power play assist was a huge one, and what a sign of what he does in the power play. Everyone was cheering shoot, and I was like, do you guys not remember Miro Heiskanen? This guy doesn't shoot on the power play. He makes elite passes like that.
I want to ask Miro now, obviously that surgeon is elite in what he does, so I'm not questioning. I'm more curious what he had to see in person that it couldn't evaluate. If it was, you need another MRI, you can have that done in Dallas and send that digitally. So I'm just curious if there were some specific tests or strengthening moves or whatever that surgeon wanted to see that had to do it in person. But obviously, it's great news that he's back and able to play, and that he felt good about it. What about the other Finn that seemed to dominate the storylines tonight?
Yeah, Mikael Granlund's funny. He seems like he's interested in answering questions, but then he doesn't really answer the questions. So it's kind of a little bit of a hit or miss, but he's so focused on the future. He's so focused on winning the next game, winning the series. He basically won't answer questions about personal stuff, about his goals. He'll give you the very, simple, dumbed down hockey cliches about his goals. And then when you ask someone about, you ask him about a teammate, or you ask him about Miro coming back, that's when he really gets into it. He's a very traditional hockey player, but I thought it was really interesting that his goal, I think it was his second one on the 2-on-1, was almost identical to the goal he scored in the against Sweden in overtime in the Four Nations. I mean, I went back and watched it. I posted it. It's almost identical from where he shoots it from. He puts it in a little bit different spot, but he scores the overtime winner against Sweden, and then the first guy off the bench to hug him in that game is Mikko Rantanen for Finland. So just a kind of a weird thing there. He said that he surprises goalies sometimes because he's such a passer that when he does shoot the puck, sometimes it looks like they're just not expecting it, and I think that was the case on that one.
Lud, do you have anything for Sam?
Not a thing.
Not a thing. How about that?
How did you like happiest hour, Sam? How'd you like happiest hour?
Question.
That was a good time. That was a good time. I'll say one thing. It was a little toasty in there. I was doing a bit of sweating, but that's not their fault. That's the Dallas Heat. But that was a fun time. Watching Luds finish that beer tower in about 30 seconds was pretty fun. But good for the fans to come out. Fun to meet some people. I saw bunch of people were taking pictures, like not people that were with our group, people just sitting at their seats and of me and Luds. And I was like, they're obviously taking pictures of me. Like they don't know who this giant guy is next to me. So it was a fun time to be out there though.
It was packed too. There were,
Yeah.
Ben's in the wrong place for a microphone, but I remember Luds and I were talking about this earlier. We were really surprised at how many people were there at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday.
We should be doing a live show from there. That's my point.
We should.
Like,
Agreed.
don't you think?
Yeah, pre-gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Although, to be fair,
And then we could do the whole show from there.
we should probably set up in the indoor part where there's some air conditioning if it's going to be 100
Yes.
outside.
Well,
you
we're
guys.
used to it with our
Just a touch.
studio, so it
What's
doesn't
that?
matter. We're used to the heat with our studio, so it doesn't really matter where we sit.
Yeah. It's a shot. Everybody's taking shots at Ben tonight.
That's fired.
Yes. Honestly, we had a lot of fun. Thank you, Happy's Hour, for hosting us today. We had a good time. Anything else from the post-game media availability as far as what the, breaking this game down, going to Winnipeg for Game 5 on Thursday?
Yeah, two things. One, last thing on Miro was Pete said, first of all, the support team that Miro had, because Miro talked about the struggles, and it was really frustrating to watch this team, especially while they're losing down the stretch, and he's just not able to help. But Pete said the medical staff, the training staff, the strength coaches, everyone that helped him in terms of the medical thing were just incredible. They were there whenever Miro wanted to be there, whatever he needed, they were there to support and also push him through to get to where he needed to be to, I think, exceed the timeline that many people thought he would have. But the other thing that Pete said was Miro was the first guy at the rink, and that's before coaches. Luds knows you got to work hard to get to the rink before coaches do. And he said Pete would walk in, he'd come into the rink before a practice or a morning skate, and Miro would already be there and almost be done with the stuff he was doing because he wanted to be done with his stuff so he could focus on being around the team and being there to support the team or whatever it might have been in the situation. So just huge. I mean, you have to work very hard to do what Miro did. It's not something where you just go sit back on the couch and wait for something to heal and then jump back into a game. It's a lot of hard work. It took a lot. I imagine it was very mentally taxing for him. So a ton of credit to him, the staff. He said his teammates were there supporting him all the way through, and obviously on the ice doing enough to keep this team in a good spot and push them into the playoffs and beat Colorado to enable them to come back into basically an important scenario here instead of training camp next year when we're looking at the following season. The other thing Pete said was Jake Oettinger. He almost forgot. He was, Jake. I didn't even mention Jake. He was probably our best player tonight. And what's crazy about that is we've seen Jake ups and downs, right? We've seen him go through a little bit of ups and downs here and there, have a tough night. Usually his tough nights are when he allows a soft or goal that he doesn't want or like to allow early. He allowed that in this game. That was a very poor goal. That's something that he said. He comes back. He stops every other shot. He stops multiple breakaways. He makes saves. He's super positioned, eating up those rebounds. He just was the backbone of the team after that. And I think that could go a long way for him mentally too. He's already a mentally strong guy, but the fact that he was able to do that.
We're going to pause for just a second and say thank you to our television platform viewers tonight. Make sure to like and subscribe here on the pod and check out alldls.com. Okay, Sam, sorry to cut you off short. We had to dismount real quickly there. We're now in overtime.
No, all good.
Feel free to finish your thought.
Yeah, all good. The only other thing I was going to say was Mike asked about the third period and how they didn't really sit back. There were a few shifts where I was getting a little worried. About 7-8 minutes left. They were really taking on a little bit of water and just kind of chipping it out and getting a change. And we've seen this team in the past and during this season, especially towards the end of the year, just take on water in the third period when they're up a goal and just kind of chip it out and try to punt until the game's over. And it really hasn't worked for them. And Pete joked about how they basically had the worst 5-on-6 in the history of hockey in that game where they allowed like 3 goals in 50 seconds or whatever it was to lose in regulation. But the last two games, they've really done a good job of not only just locking it down and they're not making Jake make a ton of saves defensively, but they're also pushing it up the ice. I mean, they kept Winnipeg from pulling the goalie a few times that he was trying to come out that he wasn't able to because Dallas was pushing, getting an offensive zone face off here and there. And the amount of plays, I know Luds loves these plays because he fired one to me in our pickup game, but when the plays like Sam Steele and Rantanen and those guys that make the little play on the wall where the puck's up there's a 2-on-1 maybe for Winnipeg and Sam Steele finds a way to chip that puck out, get a change and reset. Those are the plays that win you games, win you series, and win you championships. And that was super impressive. And Pete said it's incredible to see how they've gone from what they were at the end, obviously resting people and reeling and all that, but to go from what they did at the end of the year where they were just it was so hard for them to win games in so many ways, but especially with a lead late, to go from that to what they've done the last two games, basically smothering one of the best offenses in the NHL, is just really impressive.
All right, we have a few super chats to hit up, so let's get those through, and then we'll see how quickly we can say goodnight because we have a show tomorrow, so we'll have to be back here and lots more
Bing
Stars talk
bong.
then.
We do?
Yes, Sam, it's Wednesday. We have a show.
Oops.
Let's see. Beats, Breaks, and Bricks with a Canadian Heiskanen and Granlund. Finland from your Aussie lost in Vancouver. Finland! Die Hard.
Love that.
Bing bong.
I Love Misty 1985 with a Ludwig. Last time Stars took a 3-1 lead and lost was 1992. It's also the only time in Stars franchise history that they lost a series when having a 3-1 lead. So they've won a fair amount of those.
Bing bong.
We didn't come here till 93, right?
That's right. So it was Minnesota.
So I was in Minnesota. That was when we were in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who that was to.
Jordan Crilly with a DeSmith and a 99 cup here. Has anyone mentioned Finland yet? Go Stars. Let's go to the next
bang.
one. Marshall second with a Heiskanen 99. Stars win 3-1. Rangers win 4-1. My beginner hockey league won 5-3. What a great day. Can't wait for the bruises tomorrow. Man, the new graphics change has made it much harder to read from this far away. Maybe we need a bigger screen, Luds.
Well, can't you
Get it closer?
Well, can't you make that bigger on there?
I mean, we could
deal?
just have a bigger monitor, too. I mean, all those things.
Good luck on that one.
I know.
Oops.
Yeah, next one.
Hold on, I'm messing with the size here so that Luds can see it.
Me, he can't read
it's
it.
the appropriate. It's the size I've been instructed to make it.
Oh,
Oh,
see,
I
there
can
you
read
go.
that.
There you
No
go.
doubt. Look at that.
Everybody's
Bing
got
bong.
John Ayo.
Jordan Crilly again with a Heiskanen 99. I think tonight was the biggest intermission diehard meetup yet at the AAC. The DLS diehard community is amazing.
What's going on there?
So they're meeting
Agreed.
up
Sam must be part of that.
in some location at the AAC.
I wasn't
during the
today.
intermissions.
I wasn't
I love
invited
it.
today.
Like what? Where? What
Ben
is-
says
In the
Ben says
concourse,
they
probably.
should come to Happy Sour before. It's I get it. It's tough on a Tuesday,
all that noise from the peanut gallery up there. Like just,
5 o'clock.
What were you doing? Another one?
No, I'm saying it was 5 o'clock on a Tuesday. That sometimes it's difficult. Although there
we should
a lot
meet
of
there at
people
5
there.
o'clock every day before the show.
By the way, Luds, you guys, Minnesota lost to Detroit in 7 games in 1992. If you remember that, probably not.
I don't.
It was the division semifinals back when you were part of the what was it?
Or no stars.
Well, yeah, but no, I was like it was the Clarence Campbell Conference
Oh,
back then.
Bing bong.
Chase Smith with a Heiskanen 99 taking it to the Jets so good they need a cream of lube, as Luds would say.
your balls, butt cracks, and
Man.
grundles.
Bing bong.
I love Misty 1985 with a Ludwig.
How many people did not know, you think, before this show what the grundle was?
A lot. It
Yeah.
is not a commonly
Ralph-
used term.
Ralph didn't even know.
Yeah, you
If
taught
Ralph
him the
doesn't know
grundle
something,
yesterday.
that's
Yeah, and if Ralph doesn't know,
saying something.
I know.
Yeah, that's saying something.
yeah.
BBCG. Throw the hat, John.
The hat trick hat is already on the set, so I'm gonna have to sacrifice my own hat, like the good old days.
Here it
That one's
goes.
got a little more weight to it. You can, see. You can
Oh,
get
he had a
that-
light,
yeah,
and he
that's good.
almost landed it on the sleeper shirt on the set.
Got the fixture. And we are done with Super Chats and the show.
We have a show tomorrow.
And
at-
we want the Stanley Cup. Up.
That's Connor Hellebuyck. Josh Marcy, yeah, he's our guy.
He's got all of them.
Is he up in the press
Connor,
box all by
Healers in the
himself?
end.
Probably. You could ask him.
Are you up there all by yourself, Sam?
I don't know. I'm in one of the booths. Nope, Mike Heika's right next to me.
Or are you in a suite, or are you just in the press box?
I'm in the suite. I think I'm in the.
He's in one
I
of
don't
the
know if this
broadcast
is the radio
booths.
one. I'm in one of the broadcast booths. And Mike
Doesn't
Heika's right
know.
here, though. If I knock on the wall loud enough.
Well, we have a show tomorrow. Big thank you to our presenting sponsors tonight, Happiest Hour and Bud Light. Don't forget, we will be on the air tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central Time, as Sean will be here. Not here, but he will be remote. And Sam may have a practice update.
1:15 meeting at the plane, so we will be talking to Pete around 1:15 or 1:30.
You can get from Love Field to the studio by 2 o'clock. You'll be fine.
No, I heard traffic's really bad at that
Listen
time.
to this yokel.
You're not going to learn anything.
Well,
You're not
he-
going to
night.
learn anything.
So anyway, Luds and I will be here. Sean will be remote. We'll find out what Sam's doing tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Luds.
Well, I was going to wait till tomorrow. You want to do it now?
We should do it now. It's the show. It's the Stanley Cone.
Well, I thought we were going to do it tomorrow.
Do it.
I mean, you want to do it on the show?
That's what I thought we were going to do.
I thought you
Come on,
just
do
saved that
it.
for Ralph.
Why would we not do it on the post-game show?
We should do it right now.
Do it.
Nobody's up and nobody's watching.
That's actually not true.
We've had consistently around 1,000 people watching you talk about balls and butt cracks all night.
You guys want the Stanley
There are
Cone
1,000 people
tonight.
watching you grundle your way over there.
See, I thought
We have
about
a
this.
what
Hey,
class?
Ben, we need to get you a pair of white gloves so that you can come down as the
Yes.
keeper of the cone and
he got the
present
same
it to
hairdo
Luds
as
to
that
mark
guy.
it off. Just like the
Lutz has the same hairdo as that guy.
I haven't. We don't.
There's a marker, right?
Should we use the blue one or the green one? Okay. Oh, that one worked. All right. Luds, we're not going to do number 16 yet, but how about that? We are
9
right here.
to go.
7. Number 7.
All that, we're not even halfway home.
That is number 7 on the Stanley Cone. And you're right, Luds. Still have a long way still to go.
After the next one, we can sing that.
Oh, you're
we're
gonna get it
halfway
fancy.
there. Or we can just sing.
I think you pop it
Connor
right on the top of the
Hellebuyck.
cone. Big thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight. We had a lot of fun as always. Thanks for those that showed up at Happiest Hour this afternoon to come say hi to us. We had a great time there. And we will be here tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So for John, our producer, for Luds and the Stanley Cone, for Sam over at the AAC, and for Ben doing something up there on the couches in the lounge, I'm Owen. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow on DLLS.
Hellebuyck, buck, Hellebuyck, buck.
We all silly like the mayor.